everyone. Want to welcome you to our fireside chat. Today we have Ed, and also apologies for the delayed start, but we're here now, and we will speed things up. I want to welcome everyone, and so in terms of our chat today, we're going to be talking about using referrals to be your primary growth driver and kind of the value of referrals. And so our first guest today is Ed, and Ed would like to give a little bit of background about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ed Ceballos. I'm the VP of Partner Ecosystem at Everflow, and it's great being here with you.
Awesome. And so we'll jump right into it because we're a little bit behind. So I know, Ed, one thing that is probably on people's minds is that it's kind of the elephant in the room question. So why do you think most companies feel that referrals are an afterthought?
There are, let's say, strategy reasons or lack of strategy, and there are also the human factor. In terms of the company strategy, it's very common. People will not see this as core, as a core priority in part of the go-to-market in the company, and so there will typically be something that someone is running, is someone else's problem, right? But it's not seen by the go-to-market leaders, call it sales, CRO guys, SDR, right? Any accounts executive, even customer success, they don't see it as core. And for that reason, because no one else is engaged, there is a lack of engagement, and it's a low priority, the programs have only a marginal impact, and they typically will end up dithering and die somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, and do you feel also that kind of the standard way that referrals are promoted is kind of tuned out? Like, I know, being in the space for a long time, like yourself, like I get a lot of offers where people say, "Hey, promote my company, and I'll give you 10%, I'll give you 5%." Do you think that kind of is messaging that people are kind of tired of hearing?
I think that it has let's say a very low impact, and we can discuss philosophically because there are a gazillion of consumer programs or B2C programs that are built on that premise, right? It's like get 20%, give 20%, get 20%, or get $50, get 50, right? There is a gazillion. So we can argue philosophically if they work, but in reality, for business to business, when you look at our numbers, like 70%, some quarters even higher, of people referring clients to us, they're not even being paid. Like, they don't want to be paid. They just refer because they feel like referring, right? So there is another motivation, and there are other incentives and reasons why they do. And when you understand what are those incentives, then you get the program to work. And of course, yes, you need to have a payout because there are people who really will be moved or incentivized by that.
For sure. No, that makes a ton of sense. And in terms of referrals, I know there's so many different options you have for growth as far as when you're looking to scale a company. Why should referrals just be considered a channel that should be moved up at top of the line as far as your primary growth channels?
For people to trust any brand, there are these three big factors, right, that makes people trust a brand, and it has to do with the trust, the contact, and the empathy of the brand. And you can't, like, you cannot just go and do like Shazam and create trust. Trust is built, and sometimes in the little time you have an interaction with a client, the leader comes to your company asking for them or some form of information, you might not have enough time to build that trust. You're kind of, sometimes sales teams and marketing team feel they're just like fending off questions, and that's it. Like, I have this specific question, answer that, and I'm not going to give you more time than that, right? So how can you build trust? And sometimes the game is like just throw a couple of assets or get into a first meeting for a demo and hope that there would be chemistry. But again, human trust is extremely hard to build. So if you don't start there, right, the journey is much more complicated. So you need to do your part of the job. But again, maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you are not the first brand hit by that prospect. Maybe you are the second or the third brand they are option they are exploring, and chances are you will get one third or half or 10% of the time they gave to the first demo or the first people they talk to. So very little time, and you need to be able to create that trust. And what better way to do it that leveraging uh, the trust and established relationship of the people that are part of our ecosystem, right? Already, like clients, users within those clients, companies, and others that can tell the people, hey, if you're looking for this, go and talk to these guys because these guys rock. The solution is amazing, a great service. And so when people get to you after those type of conversations, conversion rate skyrockets because they are coming with that thing. So yeah, that's why you want to do that. You want to take advantage of the trust and relationships that exist within your own ecosystem, and kind of a channel that good energy, because no one is going to trust as much in you uh, as much as they will when someone else who is using your solution and loving it tells someone, oh, I use this and I love it. And even better if they say, I left this other thing behind and the switch was successful, right? So yeah, it's as simple as that. And people love to actually give referrals if you ask, and beyond incentives, right? And it has to do with the reciprocity principle. People love to reciprocate. That's how it works.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. And I actually saw this at a conference recently. It's where somebody said, hey, I really like Everflow, but I don't know how to work with you. And I said, well, listen, we love referrals. We love to send referrals your way, and it's a nice way to make connections. And like you said, Ed, reciprocity factor is huge. In terms of just kind of circling back to one thing you mentioned was ecosystems. So, like in terms of for a company, it could be just a small to medium-sized company. What types of ecosystems does a company usually have that they can kind of tap into for these referrals?
That's a good question, and it's funny because, like, when if you ever been around any type of design, service design, or some form of innovation methodologies, whatever the companies use, one of the key things you do at the very beginning when you're trying to design a solution for any problem is try to understand who is on that ecosystem. And it's funny that sometimes when people think in terms of partners, they kind of miss asking the question, right? Who is in my ecosystem? And and you can tell that you are missing people when people say, oh yeah, my referral program, I will include my clients. But the reality, the client, the legal entity, the brand is a logo. The legal entity is not a physical persona, right? Companies are made up of people and the users, right, within that client organization. So when you think about who is there, start thinking in terms of people. And so if you think about any brand or any SaaS company, you can easily think, okay, you have the users logging into the system day in, day out. The agencies working with them, and any SaaS company can see that many of the users that you have for client ABC they have a different domain. And when you look at who these guys are that send you a support request and say, look, you send me an email with a support request and your domain is not even the company. Oh, yeah, it's an agency, right? So you have the users, you have the people working with the agency, you have the owners of the agency. If the agency is working with your client and they are able to deliver the value prop to those clients by using your platform in a way that is profitable to them, makes their life simpler, makes operation seamless, they will want to have more clients running on that platform, right? That's the reason why so many people say, hey, go and use HubSpot, right? Go and use Reveal, go and use AdFlyer. The same reason we get that. And so, yeah, I would say ecosystem is anyone involved. And in our case, in the case of Everflow, uh, we have the users, we have consultants, agencies, and those were the ones that we've been historically tapping. But then we started expanding to technology partners and the people within the technology partners organization. And for that reason, we stopped doing only trainings and joining partner days only for the sales team, but also working connecting our customer success with the customer success team because they are frontline talking to clients, hearing about problems. so they need to keep you in mind. And also publishers. In our case, like any brand who's like you think about G2 Crowd, G2 is a publisher, right? So and they are in the ecosystem, and there's chances that many of our clients will be talking to them. So why not partner with them, right? And so many of our clients can hear. So yeah, it's the ecosystem is big, and people move, right? So someone you met here and they work your platform as a client of brand ABC, tomorrow is working on an agency, maybe his or her own agency, maybe they go to a publisher, maybe they go to a neighbor on the tech stack, another tech company, right? So it's all about tapping the network effect, right? And building these connections, and yeah, and have everyone in the company doing it. Make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense, and I think that kind of leads me into kind of the main genesis of kind of how this chat started. And so, just to give the audience a background, we actually created a white paper that details everything that we're covering today and steps you can use to create your own consistent growth driver through referrals. And what we did was last year we revamped our referral program. So our referral program was already successful because, as Ed mentioned, we have folks who just love to refer us. You know, they love to share business. So we were already doing pretty well with it. But one of the things we did was get the whole team involved with the referral program. So as Ed mentioned, the customer success team, was able to send referrals, or the sales team could send referrals. Anyone in any capacity on our team could be activated, and by doing that, it kind of placed the program into the sort of forefront of our thinking. It became a priority, and we've seen a big difference. And so, just as far as like numbers go, we had 120% year-over-year growth in quality leads from the changes we made. So, kind of circling back to our recent kind of revamping of the program, Ed, besides getting the team involved, were there any things that you feel were crucial in our big jump in success with our revamped referral program?
Yeah, when it comes to the revamping, there was something we did at the very beginning, early in the life of Everflow, that it was great in order to crack the code, which is get close to the people that is happy with us and try to pull referrals and actually get everyone to do it, not only the people in partnership, but get customer success, sales, everyone that is facing the ecosystem. And the reason is you have all these happy people that are happy to refer to you, but that got us kind of a trap in a paradigm. And we were trapped for two reasons. The first one is when you frame it like that, there is a physical limit to how far you can go, right? And because like you have only so many active users, and then the incentives. And the second one is the incentives we created were a rev share model for people who want you to be paid for referrals. But the incentives, the problem is, if you're a user and you hear about someone needing the platform and you recommend the person, you will wait, like you make the recommendation, you will wait until this is closed, and when it's closed, you get your rev share and you get it for the next 12 months, and people are happy with that. Now, when you want to grow your base of referral partners beyond that first tier, that first ring, right, of people so close to you because they're using the platform, or it's people that you know from the market that are super close to you, you want to expand to a tier 2 and 3 of people in terms of degree of connection. You need to rely more on incentives. And the rev was great in terms of money. The problem is you make a referral and then you need to wait until eventually we'll close it, right? Our sales team will close it. And depending on the client, depending on so many factors, they might be closing sometimes in 2 weeks, and others might be closing in 9 months. And at that point, they even forgot there was a referral sent. Say, oh, remember those guys? They see now that the account statement, they say, oh, I got this money. Oh, you closed these fellas. I didn't know that happened. So, and that kind of disincentivize people to act on the spot. So we kind of, the goal was every time we connect with someone new, how can we create immediate incentive to think right on the spot about the people that might benefit by using Everflow and refer them on the spot? And that requires immediacy. And that's why we changed to a CPA model where the moment they send a referral that is a qualified referral, they earn on the spot 250, and they actually can see in the portal, and they get an email say, I already scored 250 just by remembering to, make this intro by email or fill in a form, whatever method they want to use, send a text message, right? Slack
Yep.
message if you're sharing a channel. And that immediacy, right? The sense like you're coming money right on spot, drive people to act immediately, because it's like, I scored 250. Maybe if I introduce these other two guys, is now $500 extra. And then when they see that it moves as a prospect and they make another 500, they say, "Oh, I hope they close it, because when we close it, they get another $1,000." So now you people are like, "I was doing this for love, but I think that I can score actually some good money. I can use this summer, right?" And they will go and start referring more. So that creates, uh, and that's the thing of incentive is the structure, the CPA, the immediate of the action, and the amount of money, and the combination of both led to more people to act on the spot and actually think beyond the first top of mind contact they might have. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah, no, totally. And I think that, and just to kind of give our audience a little bit of backtrack on that. So, most programs obviously offer, a percentage for referrals. So they'll say, hey, refer me, and you refer somebody, and we'll give you 10% on the lifetime commission, or we'll give you 5% for 6 months. So there's a percentage thing, and it's also dependent on closing. So not only do you have to, you're sending over a referral, but you're sending it over, and there's no, you don't know how long the sales cycle is going to last, and you also don't have control over it. And beyond that, you're getting a monetary reward which is not set in stone. So it's, it could be, it's not something tangible. It could be something like 5% off of 180 a month for 6 months or something. So it's something that's not too direct. And so with this, what we did is basically, as Ed mentioned, the CPA model. So we actually reward our referrals on each lead stage as they progress. So beyond the fact that if they just send in a lead, and that's set in, it's $250, and then every step they move on through the funnel, they're rewarded until the end. And so it allows them to kind of, if you're sending a referral, not only do you get the immediate feedback that, hey, I got a lead, their lead was received, it's good to go, I'm receiving something for it, but you can also, the referee kind of remains engaged, basically. So they're able to kind of see the process and check in on the referrals. And also they have a vested interest in them closing, because when they do close, they get a bigger payout as well. So it's definitely an interesting strategy. And Ed, I was going to ask, do you find that, are you seeing more referees kind of being engaged, like saying, hey, I sent you guys a lead last week, but where's that going?
Yes, and that was also part of using this Everflow CapSpot integration to, so every time sales team moves the deal forward, we can trigger an event and make that visible to partners. That was very critical for two things. The first one, I would say, people love the transparency and to see what's going on, because we will get in the rev share model, before we have this set up, people will say, hey, whatever happened to that referral, right? They generally ask, and it's not about much about the money, as sometimes as he's like, is there any value in what I'm doing? Like, do you need a
Yep.
referral like this? Can you guys close it, right? So the transparency piece is super important in any type of partner relationship. And the second factor is that it creates like an immediately an incentive. And we see more often than not, when there are cases where they move, when the sales rep move a given referral to prospect, they will chat with us and say, hey, I'm going to go and put a good word for you. So they close it, because I know they've been delaying that decision, but they need to do it. So you actually get involved, right? and they actually end up pushing themselves, which is awesome. And it's good, because it's depending on the partners, and that happens with some tech partners. Sometimes we structure this like the sales rep will get the 250 portion, and the other part of the referral will be given directly to the company. And so that is a super nice way for some partners to kind of drive this culture change inside their own teams, and they start making more referrals because they they benefit every time we get one of these clients. Now they can sell this other technology because there is a better together story. So they use the CPA incentive or part of it to actually drive some more action on the sales team, which is like an added benefit.
No, that's awesome. And with such an easy reward to get to, so like, if through each lead stage, do you feel like businesses should be concerned, like maybe they're going to be getting, I don't want to sound too like cheesy or anything, but maybe they'll be getting too many leads from this? Like, has this been a concern for us?
Concerned about too many referrals? Well, referrals, no, because there is a scenario where I can imagine you would be concerned, and I can say, you should release, like when you're expanding beyond the tier one relationships in your network and you're opening more, you cannot just go and say like, hey, we're paying $250 for any referral and put that on a Facebook group, right, or a Reddit group, because then yes, you're gonna get 10,000 partners and you're gonna get a lot of, let's say, non-qualified leads, and it's gonna be a monumental waste of time, right? So this is all about how you design it. Now, if you're careful, right, and you say, I'm going to go after this ecosystem or these user groups or these relationships, etc., and you grow kind of in a mindful way, you're going to get the right relationships that are already part of your network, already part of your ecosystem, and then you will focus on how to use that to drive a better together story, to drive more co-selling, to drive more co-marketing as part of the whole thing. So you shouldn't be having a problem. Now, if marketing, because this is an initiative that should typically be part of what marketing does, if marketing already has a process to qualify leads, right, which is standard for any inbound leads management, then you shouldn't be having quality issues. Like if you don't have a basic thing as to identify 10 demo requests coming from, I don't know, Bangalore, everyone with the Gmail. If you don't have that in place for regular inbounds, then you're not going to be able to manage for referrals either. But if you have those things in place and you expand network mindfully throughout your ecosystem mainly, you shouldn't be having a problem of bad leads. You will hopefully get the good cholesterol of getting a ton of very good leads, because you're actually expanding your ability to drive those, and this is exactly what we've been enjoying.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic info. So it's all about going after the right groups with this. So don't open it up to everyone that could possibly get it, but make sure you target kind of who you're going after, and then also to making sure you have a system in place for qualifying leads, which I think is key too. So if somebody's hitting this mark, it can't be a problem because it's what we want. So I think that makes a ton of sense. And so kind of circling back to the steps for doing this, I know we have basically one thing is obviously getting your whole team involved. The next thing is kind of creating tangible rewards that can be achieved that kind of keep people motivated. And those are obviously two big things. And one thing that I did notice at Everflow is that we do have kind of a very easy sign up process. And I think you touched on that earlier. So could you kind of discuss like how the ease of signing up kind of makes our referral program adds a little stickiness to it and more of a, collects more registrants?
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I learned, right, with the program, and actually that's something that Remy, who is the person operating in the team, the program day in day out, something she realized there will be this contact, this relationship that someone on the customer success we have, or someone working for an agency we have, or a partner, etc. And they will send a referral, and we have this kind of crazy automation that the moment we tag someone as a referral, it will automatically send a link for them to enroll, or in some cases enroll them automatically and say, oh, now you're enrolled, this and that. And it was in the reality is many people refer because they feel like referring. They're not doing because they love Everflow. They do it because they have a friend who have this problem and they really believe we can help them, and they send a referral. And if you make the mistake of treating them as a monetary relationship, like, hey, you're a referral, even if you're not talking about money, it's like, oh, I was just trying to help my friend, why is sending this? And they will ignore it. So I think that it's about getting the relationships right. There are people that we created in our system as a referral partner, and they never log into the partner portal to check their earnings, right? Because they didn't even want it to be paid. We did it just because we want to track who's referring what for our own operation, but they don't even access to that, and you need to be mindful of that. And there is also people who are very happy to refer, even if they benefit themselves in many other ways, they still want to get paid, right? And that people would love to have a portal. So we did a couple of things, and I would say priority number one is making sure you invite to the portal and talk about money in the right way with the right people, because not everyone will want it. And the second thing that we did is, when it comes to people that explicitly they want to be part of a program, be paid, etc., try to eliminate friction as much as possible. So for example, for in our marketplace, we have publishers, and publishers have a very strong incentives to get the brands working with them, those advertisers, to use Everflow, because you get this great brand and you're driving all this traffic, and every time you send your reports, they will go and dispute and say, I don't need to pay you this money because I only get this from you. And the reason is the publisher is actually sending this traffic. People are actually asking for a demo, but somehow, because the people didn't ask for a demo on the first click, the first time they visit the website from that publisher, but the company somehow captured an email or something, they will go and retarget with Google Ads, for example. And when they finally click ask for a demo, this will be counted as a Google Media buying lead, right? And like poaching it from the original partner actually took the time to refer the lead to you. This is super common. It happens because most SaaS companies operate on the assumption of last click attribution, which is the death of these quality relationships. So by like, if you can be very careful and track who is the right source, you can attribute to the right partner. So publishers have this incentive, because when they realize that when the brands are using Everflow, they stop having that conflict, and they actually monetize the partner, the client relationship faster. So they have an incentive. So what we did is, in their own marketplace, in their own portal for publishers, there is simply a button where they can refer clicking there. And when they actually create the marketplace presence for the first time, we automatically enroll them as referral partners. And we make it very simple by putting, among all the metrics they get on the marketplace itself, there is a little card that shows their earnings for referrals and a little button to refer on the spot. And that eliminates friction and drive a lot of referrals. And this is extremely relevant because the referrals that we get from publishers always enjoy above 50% conversion rate. So we want to get more of them. And so we make it simpler for them, and they're already there. Yeah, it's simpler. And if there is a car that's counting zero, they will want to see money coming in, right? Which is another incentive. And there is a button next to it where you can just click. So yeah, eliminate friction, make it simple. But first, try to understand where the people fall, because some people will just not want money. Sometimes, for example, if you offer them, hey, do you have any good case study? Yes, I'm working with this brand who's an Everflow client, and I'm helping do these things. Well, help them with the case study, help them with inviting them to a fireside chat, and that will be enough. So managing those relationships do not always equal to having a partner portal. And this is a very common mistake, like a rookie mistake people do. Like, oh, I need kind of a PRM kind of tool where I can get people to sign up and manage everyone via portal and send everyone an email and everyone checking the payout. But there is a myriad of reasons why people will relate to you and how they extract value from that relationship. So you need to be able to hold all of them in one operational program, of one operational model, and in one program, in a way that accommodates to what they're looking for. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. I think that it's there's so many things with referrals that can get in the way of them actually working. There's the incentive. There is the how many people are working on a project. There are as far as stuff on your site, and so making things as easy as possible, reducing that friction is definitely the way to go. I think That makes a ton of sense. In terms of once you
Uh,
have your program going. Oh
Tony,
yeah, go
excuse me.
ahead. Sorry. Yeah, sure.
Um, but most importantly, understanding their intentions, which is, as I mentioned before, the first step in when you are designing anything. You need to understand intentions. Like, what does it mean a win for them? Like, what is the currency exchange happening? Right. That's the most important thing, because for some people, it will be the money. For some people, it will be helping their friend. For some people, it's just reciprocity principle, right? And sometimes we get better, uh, like we honor those relationship better when we hear like, hey, I'm gonna be out of the office the next 3 weeks because my first son is about to be born, and I will say, oh, for real, and we send them a gift. And sending a gift and a basket to his wife in the hospital, a welcome gift for the baby, is a much better way to honor that relationship than thinking, hey, get into the partner portal and get paid this amount of money, right? So it's all about understanding intention, what type of relationship you have, and actually manage that inside the program in a way that makes sense to honor that relationship, because partnerships ultimately is all about relationship people, right?
Yeah, and I think that ties a lot into the whole human being component of referrals. Referrals are more than just sending out a link. It's actually in the core of it. It's you're referring somebody. You're saying, "I'm vouching for this person. I'm vouching for this company. I want to send you their information. I want you to work with them. I think you'd be a good fit." It is very relationship heavy, and I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. And so once a program is set up, so once you have your whole team is involved with it, you're making it easy for people to refer, you're understanding their motivation, you're creating a kind of a seamless, frictionless experience for them to sign up. Once things are going, how do you kind of take that to the next level? Like, how do you start really seeing it at like, okay, we see referral leads are coming in, but we want to make this like our main growth driver. Like, how do you scale this up?
Yeah. As with everything, there is no silver bullet, right? I wish we
Yeah.
all wish to have a silver bullet, but rarely are. Um, like there is one dimension of scaling referral program inevitably, which is you need to keep recruiting, right? You need to keep recruiting. There's nothing you can do about it, because all of us has a network of a given scale, and each of us on our network can only refer so many people. So you see, typically when you enroll someone, if you do the partner activation well, there will be a spike in referrals, and then it will naturally lower, and then it will get more like an organic pace, and maybe that person will refer 2 or 3 people per year, maybe 10, maybe one, right? And that's fine. There's like even if you shake, like put the person upside down and shake, there's nothing's going to come as a referral, because the network is exhausted, right? They are not coming in contact with more people needing this, right? So there is a natural outreach that every contact, every person has, and that sets a limit to how much referrals they can send you. That's why recruitment has to be something that is always there. And the following thing is I have a very consistent activation process that in many cases is as tedious as make sure they get an email, offer them to be in a call. Many people will say, yeah, happy to talk to you guys, and be in a 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and maybe it's hard to scale, but when you do it with the right people, and then you are seeding a relationship that can go far and really surprise you by the results that you can get. So the other thing I would say is keep keep the ears open and keep asking, and what's value, right? Because remember, value is not created, value is perceived. And maybe to me the value is that for example, you have a happy hour during a conference, and guess what, because you are our beloved referral partner, you're the first one to get invite, and that's going to be for a week. So if you want to register, like register now, because you're getting this before everyone. It's like, okay, if you VIP, I feel that you're giving me a good shot. And because believe it or not, it sucks when you're in a conference and we had parties with 500 people, like a super nice happy hour in Vegas, and there were like 250 people on the waiting list, and I saw myself people at the door being turned out because the place was at capacity, and I was looking at people that are super nice partners doing great things and helping us a lot, And so we'll just reach out and say, yeah, come with me, come inside anyway, right? Because it's like they don't want to be just one more. They want to feel special. So there are many ways that keep listening. That's the third one. Keep listening and keep tuning to make sure that you understand what's the value. So I don't know. Maybe over the time we will discover a better way to have a compensation model that will be more efficient in any way. I don't know. But keep listening, keep learning, keep finding value. Sometimes it's sharing the stage with them. Sometimes it's just listening to them, being in contact. Sometimes it's like you're a consultant, you're referring so much, is just find a mechanism so you can refer them to clients looking for a consultant like them, right? And that's why we have other programs built on top of the referral partner program, like the agency program, publisher program, tech partner program, that are kind of the natural evolution for those relationships. So one way to scale is, and that's the fourth comment, and last one is see how the relationship can scale to other type of relationships, and many of these will certainly scale as a other type of partnership more like bigger than a referral partner. And agency, I think, is a perfect example, agency program. And but sometimes the person start working with a publisher and say, hey, I'm here now and I really want to get into your marketplace. I want to start working with you. So you never know. If you look at the US Department of Labor statistics, they say that the average tenure for people in the job is 4 years, right? So the odds are that a percentage of the people, like 25% of the people in your network, will be switching jobs every year. So you got to make sure you stay in contact with them, and whatever new capacity in the new job are, they can still be in contact with you, and maybe how value is created will be different. And I see relationships moving from a referral partner to a tech partner relationship where the incentives and benefits and value creation goes on a different rail, right? Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, I think that makes a ton of sense. I love how you touched on something that is not talked about in referral programs too much, is what, what's valuable to somebody, and moving beyond the monetary rewards. Like, for example, inviting just somebody to a dinner, like at a conference, sharing a panel with them, sharing their information with your audience. Like, there's a lot more to do than just offer somebody the monetary aspect. It depends on what they're into, and so I think that's definitely something that a lot of programs don't think about.
In something I'd say I spend 1/4 of my time in every conference I go, and the people with whom I have a direct relationship know this by heart. I'm naturally a connector, right? I love connecting people. So I'm talking to someone and say, you know what? I was talking to this other fella. You guys got to talk. Just
Yep.
I enjoy doing that, right? And there is so much value and so much help you can give someone just by saying, like, you guys are trying to do this. I just met these guys who have the thing. You guys gotta speak. And then after the conference, sometime they would say, hey, you know what? I end up meeting George, and we had this conversation. We're actually signing up, or we're new partners. You help create a new partnership, right? Because this is how it works. This is how you tap the network effect. It's not only trying to kind of collect from the vine, right? As Gary Vee says, is give, 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 and eventually you will get. So a big part of this is give, keep giving, connecting people. So I met you at the conference. I know you have a new baby. I know you're getting married, whatever thing. I will get something to you, and it's like, okay, you heard, you understand the value of this to me, and yeah, it's human relationship, right? You need it's people to people, human to human. It's never B2C or B2B, right? And we knew this for a long time.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. Well, I think we're getting close to time, and I definitely want to thank you, Ed, for everything. And just for our audience, we do have a white paper that details all of this stuff, so you'll be able to take it, digest it. I know we covered a lot, but you'll be able to kind of see step by step. We outline exactly kind of why we revamped our referral program, how it was successful, things you can do, different types of ecosystems you're involved with. So we'll give you the tools, and this is something that is just free information, and we want to get it out everywhere because it works, and it's something that Ed and the partnership folks have developed that we feel more people need to know about, and it's something that is extremely useful for growing your business without blowing out your spend. It's just about bringing in quality business. So we'll definitely include the link to the white paper in our follow-ups from this. And other than that, Ed, I want to thank you for your time, and audience, thank you for your time as well. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to hit us up at everflow.io. And have a great day, everyone.
Yes, Olivia asked a question, and the answer is yes.
Oh, yes.
We will share the recording.
Oh, yes, for sure. Yes. Thank you for that. And awesome. I think we are good to go. All right. Have a good day, everyone.